once in a while it can become, but we try to make it as close to the reality. So there are so many ways you can do the forecasting. So we'll be doing that today. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yanchika, it's a very important for you, this chapter.
Okay.
Wherever you go to any company. This is the weakest part of the company. They are not able to forecast, and they have only Excel sheet, and based on that they have some person who are doing the forecast. So if you learn, highlight in your CV like asset.
Okay, sir.
And this is the most important. Whenever you are applying, you just highlight in your summary that you have an expertise in forecasting the uh, things. Believe me, everybody will run behind you.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Okay. So, okay, start reading,
Yes,
Yanchika.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Forecasts are basic input in the decision process of operation management because they provide information for future demand. It helps OM to match supply and demands. Two aspects of forecasting are important, namely accepted level of demand, degree of accuracy.
So, this expected level of demand should be as close to the actual demand. Then only you can say it is quite accurate. We cannot say 100%, but when we use, even in statistics, when we do certain, so we say what is 95% accurate or 90% accurate, whatever inferences we draw from the sample, it is never 100%. Yes, importance of forecasting.
Importance of forecasting. From cutting costs to keep consumer happy, forecasting is the vital component of supply chain management, helping companies fill order on time, avoid unnecessary inventory expense, and plan for price fluctuations.
So naturally, if you have a very good forecast, then this becomes a very vital, because this is what you are going to produce, what you are going to produce. So accordingly you will buy the input, the inventory which will you keep, and the time which you will require to fulfill the order, everything can be accurate, and you will be able to satisfy the customers because they're getting the right thing in the right quantity at the right time, because you know what they want, how much they want.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is why this unnecessary inventory will be eliminated, and you can uh, there won't be much price fluctuations. Yes,
Both
continue.
an yes, ma'am. Both an art and a science. Effective forecasting is complex process that require educational qualifications and practical experience. General knowledge about supply, demand, and price factor must be distilled into hard data, which then must be
Mm.
analyzed in conjunction with other information and used to generate meaningful projections.
So this is both an art and a science. Like for example, like cooking, somebody gives you the ingredient list to make a cake. You need 1 cup of flour and 4 eggs, and then you mix all the things. But it is not everybody will be following the same instructions, but the result will not be the same. So it is the way you're doing it. So science is what? Objectively, you are given the ingredients and the method of using that ingredient. But the result, final result is how you are managing it. What is the capability of your hand? The cook, the art of cooking. I'm giving you a simple example, but everywhere it is both an art and a science, because you can have the data, you are everything, but one person analyze it in a better way, because there are so many things which you cannot exactly pinpoint. That is why you have to have educational qualification and practical experience. And that is why when you are doing management, because something, this will, whatever decisions you take will be affecting human life. So while doing management, so much emphasis is placed on having practical knowledge. So that is why we try to bring in people from industry so that they can share their experiences and practical approach to the problem. You can not only learn the theoretical part of it, but also the practical part. Anything. And naturally, forecasting is one tool which is going to determine the success or the failure of the whatever endeavor you have taken up. So here you might have the knowledge about demand and price factors, but then you have to have the hardcore data which you will analyze, and other information also. Then only you can say ki, what should be your demand, how much units you should produce, what features are demanded by the consumer. All these things will be in the hardcore data which you have finalized after analyzing several factors.
Keeping the right amount of product in stock is critical to businesses. Having too little means running out and inopportune times, causing customers to buy elsewhere. Having too much means paying unnecessarily high cost for storage and inventory management.
This we have been discussing a lot. Not stock out. If it is stocked out, then your consumers, your customers will be going somewhere else because they need. And if it is overstocked also, that will go waste, and that will be a loss to your company. So keeping this balance is very important, and forecasting helps you in keeping this balance.
Finding the middle ground between those two undesirable extremes is done by forecasting.
Mhm. Yes, features of
Features of good forecast. Accurate. Some degree of accuracy should be determined to make a comparison for other alternative forecasts. Reliable. The user should establish some degree of confidence. Timely is necessary to set a certain amount of time in response to make some change if necessary. Easy to use and understand. Users should find the forecast comfortable to working with. Cost effective. The cost should not be higher than the benefits obtained from the forecast.
So it should be accurate. Suppose you make a forecast कि the demand for say this particular vehicle will be so X units. So that X unit should be close to what will actually happen in the future. Here you are making assumptions which will something which will happen in the future. You, so you cannot be 100%, but you look at so many things. You look at the market, you look at study the consumers, you talk to people who are have experience in this particular field. Maybe they might be managers, or they might be suppliers, or they might be wholesalers, or they might be retailers, because they are the selling, they are in contact with the consumer. So you have to have this combined knowledge to make a very good forecast. And naturally, if it is accurate, it should also be reliable, so that you have the confidence कि you say कि okay, in future you will be able to sell this much units. So actually you should have, I'm not saying 100%, but at least 95% or even 99%. Now with so much advanced quantitative techniques, it is now possible to say with 95% or 99% कि your forecasting will be accurate. And whenever it timely, like for example, you say when we talk about weather forecast, what they do is there are two ways of making that forecast. One is you solve the differential equation which says conservation of momentum, mass, and energy. These are three basic things in nature: conservation of mass, momentum, and energy. Now, but that is a very complex equation, which till date nobody has been able. I'm not talking about our the things which is being forecasted by our natural, like the all the festivals which we have. It is very well related with the weather, but what method they have used we don't know. But in today's scientific world, nobody has actually solved that particular differential equation, but they have doing, they have using supercomputers to get various data about. Supercomputers means because the forecast has to be done timely. Because suppose if I make a forecast ki, suppose it was going to rain tomorrow, and I make a forecast for after it has rained, that it is of no use, or anything, it can be rain or it. So forecast will help those farmers, will help other people related with the weather to make fast and timely decisions. So timeliness is very necessary. And whatever method you are using, that is why today scientists are using this method, computational method, not analytical method, but computational method, to make the forecast. And it should, the cost should be effective. Suppose with all the efforts you are able to make a outcome is more or less than what you have invested in making that forecast, then it is of no use. So it should be cost effective.
The basic steps in the forecasting process.
Hmm.
First is determine the forecast purpose. Second is establish a time horizon. Third is select a forecasting technique. Fourth, gather and analyze data. Fifth, make the forecast. Sixth, monitor the forecast.
Hmm. So why you are making this forecast? For whom you are making? What is the purpose of this forecast? That should be the first thing you should give. Then establish a time horizon. Suppose I make a forecast during this puja season, like in Durga Puja, the buying behavior depends upon the culture of that particular locality. The way Bengalis buy during the puja will be very different from the way people from Uttar Pradesh are buying in puja, or say people in Bihar are buying. They might be influenced to some extent, but according to their cultural needs, the buying behavior. So many things is affecting the forecast. Not only the buying behavior of the consumer, the culture in which they are operating, all these things. So you make, so at what time, for what purpose you want that. Like for example, if you are making a forecast for saris, so you have to know ki at what time what is required. Then you have to select a forecasting technique, whether you will be using a quantitative techniques or a qualitative techniques. Then whatever data you have to gather and analyze and see what your data tells. That is why today whenever you go and buy anything from any of the shops, they'll they'll ask for your phone number, plus they store the things they have you have bought, what are your preferences, everything. So they later on they analyze, and then they try to catch customers. Yesterday we were talking about push and pull. So they push things. Sometimes you'll get messages on your uh, mobile ki, this is available, that is available, and it is at this cost, that cost. They try to lure the customers, because the things which have been already produced are to be, so they constantly analyze the customers, and that is why so much data is floating in the is being cached by the people who are either manufacturing or who are selling it. Then you make the after you have gathered and analyzed the data, you make the forecast. Okay, from whatever things you have analyzed and gathered, you know what you should will be the demand in future. And then once you have made that, then you keep on monitoring it and see whether it is how much it is correct, whether you were able to satisfy the customer, or some customers were not satisfied with your goods, or maybe some customers did not get the goods. So you have to monitor that forecast. Yes.
The purpose for forecasting is an approach to determine what the future holds. It is an estimate of what the future will look like that every function within an organization's needs in order to build their current plans. Today, all organizations operate in an atmosphere of uncertainty. Decisions that are made by organization today will affect future outcomes.
So that is the, because you are making forecast means something which will happen in the future. Uh, what and that for that everyone in the organization, whether they are from finance, whether they are from HR, whether they are from marketing, whether they are in operations, they'll be affected by. Because if suppose a forecast is made ki in future or for this particular period, this much units will be needed, will be is the demand of the market. So for producing that, what process you should use, so that whenever at what time you should deliver, then who all will man this. So here HR is involved, then how much money will be involved in making those things, how will you do it, from where you will get the money. So finance will be involved, HR will be, then where you will be marketing, will where is your market, how long will it will take to take the goods to your so how will you be distributing it. So the distribution channel has to be seen and analyzed. So it is not that only one aspect of the organization is being affected, but the whole organization is being affected by this forecast. Today or tomorrow, everywhere, we are not 100% sure of what will happen in the future. We study and we see and we analyze. Like, for example, even the thing that tomorrow the sun will rise is not 100% sure, even though for thousands of years it is happening, and with 99% confidence we can say again tomorrow it will happen. But you never know what disaster might happen, and this phenomena is interrupted. So there is always a chance of not achieving the exact goal, but still with lot of planning and lot of technical help, we can make a good forecast. Because whatever decision which we are taking today will affect the future, because it is for the future which we are making.
Example, the eventual, what is my
Eventualities,
eventualities and contingents
contingencies,
of general economic business cycle.
like we make a forecast whether next year will be a rise in the economy or there will be fall in the economy. Hmm.
An expansion following enlargement and growth in business involve the use of additional machinery, personnel, and reallocations of facilities.
Hmm.
Change
Suppose
in
there's growth in the business. So for that you'll need additional machinery, because then you want to expand your enterprise. For example, when I was telling you about how Tata Motors in early 90s, they thought of producing passenger cars. So they expanded to, initially, so they were only confined to Jamshedpur in Jharkhand. Then they opened a plant in Pune, near Pune. It is not exactly in Pune, but now they have plants at several places. So because they saw this, they saw the future. What will be the demand? So they adapted to it and made their business grow. Yes, Kama. Changes
Change,
in
changes in management philosophies and leadership styles, the use of mechanical technology, dynamic change in the quantity or quality of products and or so service require a change in organization structure.
so if you make a for the like previously it was the top management who had a very tight control. So, but people saw that in future this will not be. There should be cooperation because the organization needs both management as well as the worker. So, management philosophy over the year has changed. Even you can see in our family that philosophy of, like, earlier it was the eldest person, there was only one head of the family and he or she dictated the term, but now it is not, because they saw that in future these things will not work. So in management also, we our leadership styles how we should change, so with the coming period, because here forecast means looking at the future, how anywhere it is not only the number you are producing, but the management style, the management philosophy, whether what changes it requires, then what mechanical technology should be changed, because technology is changing very fast. You are getting day to day, every day we are getting now. For example, artificial intelligence is playing a very vital role in when we are searching for something, when we want to know about something. So how mechanical technology is will change to your uh, uh, computerized technology, the changes which will happen in both the quality and the quality and the quantity of the products or services. So how the accordingly the organizational structure will also change. So these are the way which the forecasting shows you how we will adapt to future. It is not just only the production, but many other things will change with the with passing of time. Yes, the need for forecasting.
The need for casting significantly increased in this period of time due to the rapid change in technology, government involvement in the econ, social and political change, globalization. It is essential to obtain an estimate of the change as accurately as possible for companies to survive, to strive for operational excellence, and to have a competitive advantage.
Because see, today the era in which we are living, there's lot of changes are happening. Technology is changing, government involvement is changing, social, because people now they're mixing more and more. Information is flowing globally. We know what is happening not only in our own country but also in other countries, and accordingly we make decisions. जैसे पहले तो ऐसा होता था कि suppose somebody from your family, I'm talking a long time back, somebody from your family went to some other country. After returning, he or she will tell you about that country. But now we can, even though we have not moved to that country or we have not gone to that country, we are getting that information with the advancement in technology, especially information technology. You're not only getting audio but even visual data from other countries, from all over the world. What is happening in US, we know immediately. What is happening in India, they know us. So with this change, there are going to be significant changes in there. So we have to do forecasting. For example, fashion industry, the suppliers of the fashion material may be from developing countries. So we have to see in next season what they want, which color they want, what type of garments they want. Sometimes one type of garment is in fashion, sometimes, but this has to be done before it is actually sent to the consumer. So that is why forecasting, we need forecasting. We cannot do without forecasting. So naturally, if you don't do it accurately, because if you have to survive and do well, then you have to see, study the whole thing. It is a dynamic thing. You have to keep on studying it and keep on watching things, how things are moving, and accordingly, how you will adapt to it, what you should do.
Forecasting involves the generations of a number, set of numbers, or scenario that responds to future occurrence based on the definition. Forecasting is mainly based on the past data.
So generally, when we are doing it quantitatively, it is on the based on past data. Like suppose in past, we like what they do, how many people have bought what color they prefer. So accordingly, in future they'll be producing similar types of products. But generally, it is a, when you are actually doing it, is it is not only quantitative but qualitative also. You talk to several people and try to find out the mood of the people, what they want, and how economy is changing, how political situations are changing, and then you make the assumptions for future. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Features common to all types of forecast. The techniques assume some underlying causal system that existed in the past through which anticipations about the future could be made.
Mhm.
Forecasts are not perfect because the result that can be depicted through the forecast may or may not be achieved. The forecast is always accurate for a group of items rather than individual item. The forecast accuracy for all types of forecast will decrease as the forecasting horizon increase.
Like for tomorrow you can make a but what will happen say 1 year of, later, that is difficult to make. And generally these techniques, the casual techniques were used. We saw how things were moving, then how things will move, what is the choice of the present generation, so we can make a forecast for their future. And it is never perfect. As I told you, I've been harping upon it. It is never perfect. You cannot make 100%, because whatever you have forecasted, maybe it will happen, maybe it will not. That probability is always there. And it is for a group of person. When we say ki, not for one individual, like when we say ki, during Durga Puja, Bengalis will buy these things, but it is not ki each and every Bengali will buy. It is for the whole group. We are saying maybe one or two will not buy, so one or two can be outliers.
Forecast affect decision and active throughout an organization. Accounting, cost, profit estimate, finance, cash flow, funding,
Mhm.
human resources, hiring, recruiting, training, marketing, pricing, promotion strategy,
Mhm.
MIS, IT, IS, system service needed, operations, schedule, workloads, product service design, new product services.
So accounting, we can say ki what will be the profit or what will be the cost in future, some estimate will be making. Finance, what will be the cash flow, how the, from where to get the cash, where to distribute the cash, how to use the cash, the whole cash flow. Then human resource, in future what type of people you want. So accordingly you hire. It is not, suppose you are an engineering firm, so you will not hire a doctor to do that work. So your hiring will depend ki what is needed. Recruitment or hiring, actually once you think of hiring them and then you recruit them, then then maybe after recruiting also they might need certain training, or the way things technology is moving, maybe they have some skill at the time of interest, but they have to keep on upgrading it, and that is very necessary. Every organization should know that training is a must for each and every employee. The way things are moving, you cannot know everything today, because what will happen tomorrow you don't even know, so you need the training. So then marketing, at what price you should be selling, what proportion promotional strategy you should use so that your goods are being bought by the market on which you are targeting. MIS, that is Management Information System. What type of IT or information technology or information system services are needed? Because today you might, like, when we were small we were not used to computer working on laptop or computers, but we also studied, and but then things were different. But today the way you are learning is very different, because of the new technology which has come, and that is the need of the hour. Accordingly, even in an organization, you have to adapt. You have to know what the future will be demanding. So you have to make yourself ready for it. In operations, the schedule workloads should be taken care of. Ki what will be the demanding, features they are looking for. So your scheduling of the workload should be accordingly. Then product service design, the how you should design the new products which you are going to improve, because people's demand is changing there, because of so many other influences. So you have to concentrate more on new product services. Types of forecast.
Types types of forecast. Qualitative. The basic qualitative method of forecasting are executive options, Salesforce option, surveys, developing methods, opinion of managers and staff.
Mm. So this way, this is qualitative. You talk to executives from different functional areas and try to know what they are expecting in the future. Then the sales force, which are actually in the market, making the consumer buy the products which are being manufactured or the services which are being market produced. Then even doing the consumer, what the actually the consumer wants. So this is the way you try to analyze the market, by talking to different groups. Then Delphi method is another way. We'll be discussing it in detail later on. Then opinion of managers and staff. Everyone opinion and their analysis should be looked into, and then only qualitatively you can depict what the future holds. This is in detail. Executive options.
Mhm. Executive options. The opinions of experts from different departments are considered and averaged to the forecast future sales. This method of forecasting can be done easily and quickly without the necessity of elaborate statistics. But the main disadvantages is that it depends on individual opinions that may not be unanimous and can be vary from individual to individual, which could lead to wrong forecasting.
So this way you are talking to several people, executives. So it is their subjective opinion. So if they are biased, then what will happen? The forecast which you will make will be maybe wrong, because it will be based on their experience. It is not subject. It is not objective, but it also has its own advantages. Sales forecast.
Salesforce option. In this method, the forecast is done based on the opinions of salespeople who have steady interaction with the clients. As they are closest to the customer, they are better predict the requirements of the customer for the future market. The main advantage of this forecast method is that it is very simple to use and understand. The information can be segregated easily into different categories, but the drawbacks is the salespeople can be either optimistic and pessimistic about their prediction, and this could lead to inaccurate forecasting.
Again, over here, this is the it is the salesperson, if they are optimistic or pessimistic, the same for the same thing. One person might be optimistic, the other person might be pessimistic. So it becomes a bit difficult to analyze. But it is an easy way, and they have the experience because they are interacting with the customers. So they know the customers better, what they want, what they don't want. So this is one way of doing forecasting. Then consumer services, surveys.
Consumer surveys. In this method, the survey is conducted directly on the customer on their purchase. The survey can be done through telephone contacts, personal interviews, or questionnaires to obtain data from the customer. This
Hmm.
method requires extensive statistical analysis to test consumer behavior.
So here you are surveying so we gather data and then we do statistically analyze it. So here extensive statistical methods are used. Then comes the Delphi method.
Delphi method. Panel of experts quite chosen experts to participate should be of a variety of knowledgeable peoples in different areas: finance, marketing, production, etc. They are unknown to anyone except for the coordinator. Throughout the questionnaire, the coordinator obtains estimate from all participants. The coordinator summarize results and redistribute them to participants along with appropriate new questions. Summarize again and refine forecast and develop a new question.
See here what have you have a panel of experts. The experts can be from different departments. Can be from finance, another can be from marketing, another from production, another one for operation, etc. So, and then there's one expert. He or she gives questions to these. Uh, uh, Sorry, one coordinator. He or she gives questions to these experts and get their answer. Once he or she gets the answer, and they don't know each other. They don't know each other. There's no contact between these experts or among these experts, you can say. Only the coordinator interacts with these experts and gets the answers to his questions. Then uh, he comes to certain conclusions. Accordingly, he again frames some questions and then sends to these experts. Again, that answers comes to him or her, and then he or she analyzes it, and finally, by filtering, he comes to a definite conclusion about whatever, for whatever reason, purpose he is trying to find an answer. The forecast, whether there will be change in the design or the unit or the culture, whatever is the reason.
Types of
नहीं
forecasting
नहीं नहीं,
is
एक मिनट, दिस इज क्वालिटेटिव, ऊपर चला गया है। डेल्फी के बाद क्या था? सॉरी सॉरी। इसके जस्ट वन सेकेंड, मैं ऊपर नीचे हो गया हूँ। डेल्फी के बाद था options of managers and staff. Hmm. So here is the, now we were doing qualitative,
Okay, ma'am.
and this is quantitative, where we actually use data to make the forecast. This Delphi method of talking to consumers, talking to the sales force or experts, these are all qualitative methods. Now we are talking about quantitative methods. These are the some of the methods. Yes, read it.
Types of forecasting quantitative. There are four main types of forecasting method that financial analysts use to predict future revenues, expense, and capital cost for business. These are straight line, moving average, simple linear regre-
Regret,
regressions,
regression.
regressions, and multiple linear
Yeah,
regression.
regression. Hmm.
Comparison of the it's not four methods.
Four methods.
Okay. Technique used, math involved, data needed. So
Hmm.
first is straight line.
Hmm.
Used constant growth rate. Math involved minimum level. Data needed historical data.
Hmm.
Technique moving average.
Hmm.
Use repeated forecast. Math involved minimum level. Data needed historical data.
Hmm.
Technique simple linear its regression and uses compare one independent with other dependent variable.
Hmm.
Math involves statistically knowledge require. Data
Hmm.
needed a sample of relevant observation.
Hmm.
Technique multiple linear regression use compare more than one independent variable with one dependent variable.
Hmm.
Math involves statistical knowledge required, and data needed a sample of relevant observation.
Hmm. So straight line, here is an example where you have constant growth. Say suppose every year your profit is increasing by 10%.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, so accordingly, you can, whatever is your profit now, you want to see after 5 years what will be your profit. So you can use a straight line because you, for past 2 3 years you have seen it is at a constant rate your profit is increasing. So here you can use straight line. Yes.
Straight line method. The first step in straight line forecasting is to determine the sale growth rate that will be used to calculate future revenue.
Hmm.
For 2016, the growth rate was 4.0 percentage based on historical performance. We can use this formula C7 minus B7 upon B7 to get this number. Assuming the growth will remain constant into the future, we will use the same rate for 2017 to 2021.
Actually,
To for
actually, it is linked to just 1 second. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll share a Excel sheet and show it to you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
अभी पता नहीं वो थोड़ा कुछ लग रहा गड़बड़ हो गया है. Just 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Like suppose from 2000 or 2019. Suppose this is year.
Ma'am, I can see the Excel sheet.
You can't. Acha, you can't. I'll be showing it to you. Just 1 second.
Yes.
I'll be showing it to you. I'm not sharing it. Hmm. Can you see it now?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Now I can.
Suppose at the first, I'm giving you, say, from 2020, I'm taking this. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
2021.
20.
Hmm? 21, 22. Oh, actually, I should have just added one. And now it is 24. Okay, I have data,
Yes, ma'am.
some data. Say first year it was 100 unit or 100 rupees profit or $100 or whatever it is. I'm just giving you an example.
Okay, ma'am.
Then there was a 10% growth in second year. So it will be 100 in Excel. It should if you're making some calculation, it will be equal to 100 plus 10% will be 10 by 100. It will be 100 plus,
0.1.
instead of doing that, if I can give like this. B2 plus, because it is 0.01 every year,
Yes, ma'am.
it is, so this way you can see it will become, it will move like this. Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you want to do for, say, it is, this will become 0, 4 plus 1 के जगह. So it will become 2025. I have added one.
Yes, ma'am.
And this you can move till K. So you, no, the, अच्छा, अच्छा, I had given 2024. Now I should have given, just it should be equal to this. So this, that is E1 2024 plus 1. So it will become 25. And if you, the same thing will be, we have till 30. Now you want to, accordingly, if you want to make prediction for 2030, then what you do is you take this straight line equation. Y is equal to, I'm just giving you, y is equal to mx plus c. Or you can, now with Excel, you need not go for this complex. You can just, here what we do is we found different values of y and different values of x, and when then you want to find out the value of m, and y can be year and x can be the growth, whatever is their profit. Like over here, first year it was, year was 2020, which I have donated by 1. Suppose I donated by 1, then 2020 was 2, 3, 4, so on. So 100, 101, 100.11, 100.12, 100.13, and so on. So I get so many results, and from there I can get equation like y is equal to mxc. I can make two, summation y is equal to m summation x is plus c will be, summation c will be the number of observation into c, because m and c are constant. Just 1 second, I'll show you. Uh, Same equation I'm summing up. Then again summation x and plus c. C I'm summing up how many times? You have got how many, till 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. For 11 years you have this. eh, So that will be 11 into c. Or you can, I'm writing over n. N into, it is into c. It is not nc. So this is my equation. Now, how to get the value of n and c? What you do is, you, for first year you write y as 1, y, then y is 2 as 2, 3, 4, 5 till 30, till 11. And for x you can write, you can make a thing like this, table like this. This is y, this is x. And this is one equation. You have two unknowns, so you have to have two equations. You know that in algebra, the number of equations and the number of unknowns should be equal. Then only you can solve it. So you can write this as y, and you're multiplying throughout this by x. So first will be yx, and this is equal to m. M is constant. You know that equation of a straight line is y is equal to mx plus c. ये पढ़ा होगा ना हाई
Yes,
स्कूल में.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't know what is your background. इतना तो ज्योमेट्री में पढ़ा होगा ना.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, with Excel, it is not even necessary to know this. It does the calculation. So, but this is the method. Then again, summation. It will be now you're multiplying it by, so it will be summation x square because you're multiplying throughout by x and then summing it up. So this will become actually it is square plus now c is being again multiplied by because you're multiplying throughout by x, so it will be c summation x. So this is your two equations. Okay, you have got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So you write, you need what? You need y, you need x, you need, you don't know c, that you have to calculate. Then you know, then you have to find out yx from y and x, you can find out y into x and x square and x. So from, I write the value of y over here. It is from, I am giving 2020 as 1. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Because it is till 2030. Isn't it? We have 11, 1. From here to here it is 10 and 2020 is there, so it's 11. 11
Yes.
years I'm giving each, and x will become 100, then it is 100.1, then it is 100.11, then it is 100 point, sorry, 12, then
1.
100.13. Okay, I'll move this so I'll know okay, what is the value. Yes, I see. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
it will become, uh, I'll just copy it from here. 13, 14, and now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This I'll copy. Yeah. Zero, zero, 0.14, 100, 0.15, 100, 0.16. चला गया.
Ma'am, 10018 in upper column.
Ah, it has to be 18. Actually, so what you do is you find the sum of y.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
sum. Okay, then you find the sum of x. Okay,
Yes,
then you find out xy, y into x. Here, what you have to do is you have to multiply this with 100. Instead of you take the cell number.
yes, ma'am.
Hmm? So what will get? Naturally, it is 1 into at least 100 and so this will be accordingly. We copy down this. The sum will be hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you find out x square because we have to find y x. You can see from here y x, it is n into c. So this you don't have to unknown. This is y x x square and x. So x तो यहाँ हो ही गया. This is the total.
Yes, ma'am.
Here you have to just find the x square. X square will be x is your 100. First is your 100. So it will be equal to this हो गया ना 10,000.
Yes, ma'am.
इसी तरह you copy this down. तो इसका सम निकाल लो. ये हो गया. This is a long method, but using that Excel, we have already found कि it will be in 2000, it will be 100.19. जो 100 था प्रॉफिट वो 100.19 हो गया 10% growth से. So here what we'll do, we substitute the values in this. We'll have two equation and two unknowns. So now we have uh, uh, what we do is find out the value of, by solving this we can find out the value of m and c. So एक equation हमें मिल गया. In that whatever value we put for x, we can get a value for y. X is the independent and y is the dependent.
Yes,
In any regression equation, it is y is equal to mx plus c. If it is straight line, if it is not straight line, it is a linear. But x is the independent variable which determines the dependent variable y. Though the profit will be here, I have taken y as the dependent. Accordingly, profit, what will be the uh, uh, your year? You can do vice versa also. Make uh, y as the year as the independent and profit as the dependent. So according to year, what will be the profit? So by solving this, you can put any value for x and y. 30 की जगह 31 का निकाल लो. When we can put x as 12, 11 तक तो निकाल ही लिया, 12 निकाल लो, and then we can find out what will be the value of profit. So by this way we can solve quantitatively what will be if the growth rate is constant. If growth rate is not constant, suppose ये suppose footfall. ठीक है, the profit is dependent upon the footfall of a shop. I'm talking about a shop, footfall. That is how many people are actually visiting the more people will visit. Maybe some have just come and visited and have not bought something. But anyway, suppose for 10 days I'm falling. The footfall. Say first day 10%. This is random. 10 people have 100 people have visited. Second day 120 people have visited. Third day 99 people have visited. Fourth day 101 people have visited. I'm just doing for 5. Have visited 123. So this is my footfall. The profit, this I have actually taken the data. So footfall and profit. If 100 people have visited, profit was say 100 rupees. Second day it was 120 rupee. I won't take it 120. Say 200 rupees. तो एकदम हो जाएगा 99 तो थोड़ा कम होगा सपोज द प्रॉफिट वाज 70 rupees and then this was the profit, then it was this was the profit. So this is your data, past data. Accordingly you want to calculate how much. So for this we can draw a graph. Okay, we go to line graph. So you can see from here, this is very haphazard because 100, 200, 120, then 99. So this is the graph you are getting. From here, you can, using Excel, you can draw the chart. This is the line. Can you see it? There is one straight line coming over here.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is the straight line. So if this straight line will give you the trend. How, if this is the data, that footfall, the way footfall is varying, profit is varying. So according to this, the average is this line, this dashed line. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? So this line will give you the data. Suppose if you want to find out, you change for why you say the footfall has now come 200, so then what will be the profit? Because the footfall is your independent variable which is determining the profit. So this is known as a linear equation. This is known as linear equation, regression equation. Y is equal to mx plus c. This is linear. If it was y is equal to m square, parabola, so it is a non-linear. Again, over here you can use uh, uh, the same method, and you can use a non-linear method also using an Excel sheet. You can add chart element. You can give what is the axis. See, we are going from 100 to, or is 100, say 99 to 123. So you can see it is 99. This is the lowest part,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
123 more than 120. It is over here. Only thing, it is going haphazard now because it is decreasing, but the trend line is this dashed line. Actually, you can get the equation also. I cannot. Here you can give the chart title, like I can say footfall, footfall versus profit. So this is my chart title. You can give axis titles also. Axis titles is over here. Axis title over here. It is x-axis, or you can say this is what? This is footfall.
Yes, ma'am.
And this axis title will be
Profit.
profit. Profit. Over here it is, it has given in a straight line, not the that this is the, this is the trend line, which will give you a prediction.
So,
So this is the quantitative method. Like for example, then you have moving average. One is your linear uh, regression equation. Then you have the constant which is a straight line, it will always be a straight line. If it is constant, then if you draw it, it will always be the straight line. Then you have moving average. What you do is you group the years into it. It depends upon you how smooth you want. You can take 3 years, you can take 5 years. So you add up. Say in year 2001, production was 26 units. In 2002, production was 27 units, and so on. You can see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? So what you do is, suppose I take 3 year moving average. Then what you do is you add this 26, 27, 28 and put it in the middle. Then leave the first one, then the next three, add it and put it after that, and so on. And then you map it. Here, so this will give you a smoother curve and it will give you what will be the trend line. I'm so sorry, that is the attachment is not showing. ये जो moving average है ना 3 years, ये एक्सेल शीट में मैंने बनाया था, पता नहीं क्या हुआ है. Or simple regression equation, so I've already told you that there are y is equal to mx, which we had seen,
Yes, ma'am.
footfall and the profit. So maybe profit was the dependent variable, y variable, and
Right.
footfall was the independent variable. Depending
X.
upon the footfall, profit increased or decreased. So this is known as a linear equation, where one way, this is only one. There can be more than one independent variable. Maybe the profit depends upon two things: footfall plus the service condition. You can map it whether if it is good and appealing, you can give it 0. If it is not, you can give it 1. Some quantitativeness you have to do, because over here you are quantifying things. You cannot take it subjective, good, bad, or even if you are giving good, bad, you have to measure it. From 1 to 5, some scale you have to give. One can be where you are not at all interested in your customers. 2 can be you are showing some interest in the customers. 3 is a, a much better, and 5 is you are very much interested in the customer, and accordingly you can give your salesperson this, whether what was their reaction towards the customer, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and give that number. So you can have y is equal to ax1 plus bx2 plus c. There will always be a constant. That will be the inter when you draw. When you have drawn this, suppose एक हम ड्रॉ करते स्ट्रेट, ये इतना ये नहीं करेंगे, जैसे ये वाला था ना, ये इसका ड्रॉ करेंगे. हाँ, so this is the trend line.
I can
Of,
see them.
this is the trend line, straight line, which is averaging. This is the actual data, and this is the trend line. Here I have given it the trend line, so it is giving. So this is equal to y is equal to mx. So on this, you can change whatever you want to find out. You can give that value for x, and then accordingly you will get the value for y. Actually, over here we're not getting the actual trend equation. You can see here it is very clear. This is the curved one, when the one it is going up then straight. So that is the actual trend, and this is the average trend, which is going up, increasing with time. Trend line is showing, but the formula is not. तो इतना हम लोग करके y इज इक्वल टू एम एक्स एम और सी का वैल्यू निकालते हैं ना, दैट यू कैन गेट ऑटोमेटिकली फ्रॉम द एक्सेल शीट. अच्छा, हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में I'll शो यू. अभी पता नहीं, इट इज नॉट शोइंग.
Okay, ma'am.
मेरे सॉफ्टवेयर में हो सकता है कोई प्रॉब्लम हो. ठीक है.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the quantitative way of finding the forecast. So when you know what was the data in the previous years, you can accordingly find out the value of M and C, so that you can know what will happen in the future. Actually, statisticians are also like pundits. Pundits also use some calculation to give your future prediction. It is not just like that. They also do some calculation. I have seen in this Jyotish department at BHU. So it's
Okay.
even mathematician and statistician also do that. They do calculations and then they do the prediction. It is not in air. They just close their eyes and tell you the. They take the data, analyze it, put it in the trend line, and then they find out the answer to what will happen in the future according to what is happening in the past. So past data is very essential to make future prediction. So you have simple multiple equation, like it is simple linear equation. Y is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x plus e. E is error. It will be not exactly the in actual life. Whatever you are predicting, there will be certain error, plus minus. Okay, so we take that error also into account when you are writing the equation. So the linear regression model contains an error term that is represented by E, small e, actually Latin E it is. The error term is used to account for the variability in Y that cannot be explained by the linear relationship between X and Y. I have predicted, with Y equation, I have said कि Y value of Y will be so much when X is so much. But in actual, when I do the in say I have predicted that in 2025 the production today it is say 100 units. So tomorrow in 2015, with my calculation, I have said it is uh, to 100 or 104. But when actually it happens, it is only 105. It is so more than that. So over there is an error of one. I have predicted less, so my error is plus one. So sim, it can be minus one, it can be plus one, it can be 0.001, whatever it is. So that is the error is also there. If epsilon were not present, that would mean that knowing S would provide enough information to determine the value of Y. There are also parameters that represent the population being studied. These parameters of the model are represented by beta 0 and beta 1, where that what I have said is M and C, because our equation is Y is equal to mx plus C. X and Y I can get from the data, but I have to determine the value of, for this particular data, what will be the value of M and C, and then only I can determine the equation. Next class, I'll show you through Excel. So beta 0 is the, M is what? Y-intercept. The line which, so I show you. 1 second. Can you see this
Yes, ma'am, the graph.
graph? You can see. So
Yes,
see,
ma'am.
this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is the line. मेरा बहुत straight नहीं हुआ, थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो गया. So this is the y-intercept. Intersect it makes. Y-intercept it is known as. And this is the value of, जैसा मैंने पहले कहा था, m कहो या बीटा 0, कुछ भी नाम रख सकते हो, उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. तो it is equal to y is equal to mx plus c. C is the constant term in that. So we use this equation. So beta 0 is the y-intercept of the regression line. Beta 1 is the slope. That is, sorry, m is the slope and c is the y-intercept. And EY is the mean or expected value of y for a given value of x. यहाँ हम एक, when we find out the trend line, what are we finding? We are finding a mean value, mean expected line. You can have positive, you can have negative relationship, or you can have no relationship. Suppose it is going up, then it is a positive relationship. If it is going down, it is a negative relationship. And if it is suppose going, it is a round thing, then there is no relationship, or it is a straight horizontal line, then also there is no relationship between y and x. So if it is positive, that means when x is increasing, y is also increasing. If it is negative, when x is increasing, y is decreasing. So you can have, in this graph, you can have a linear relationship, both positive, negative, or no.
Okay.
No relation. I've already explained this. So here it is sales and profit. So you can make a relationship between sales and profit. Sales increases, profit also increases. So you make a relationship, if sales is so much, what will be the profit? Accordingly, you can make the future prediction. See, profit is equal to this is the value of, from this data, I have calculated the value of M and C. M is 0.014 and C is 0.059. And R square, that is the correlationship between these two things. What is the correlationship between sales and profit? R square is the coefficient of determination. How much it is determining you. So it is coming to 0.713. So with you are only making the determination with about 70%. It is 0.713. Forecasting, if sales is, you can make forecasting because you know, suppose sales changes, then profit will also change. Suppose if sales is 25, then profit will become 0.014 into 25. Here sales, in place of sales you write 25, then you get the value of profit as 0.49. R square is 0.713, and so R will be the square root of that, that is 0.184. That means R is the, what is the strength of correlation? It is from -1 to +1. -1 means it is negative. That means when one is going up, the other is going down. 0 is when there is no relationship between X and Y. And if it is more than, from positive, then when X is going up, Y is also going up. That is, here it is 0.84. From here, R square, you find out the square root, it is 0.84. So it is quite strong correlation between sales and profit. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Here you can make distance and age and experience. It is multiple. You have two independent variables. The distance they will be covering, say some athlete or some driver. It will depend upon what is their age and how many experience of driving they have. So with those, so this is multiple regression. That was simple regression. Only one, here you have two independent variable and one dependent variable. So you can again use Excel sheet to draw this. Next class सभी कुछ problem हो रहा है मेरे इसमें. So here I have found, using Excel sheet, intercept is this much, coefficient of age is this much, coefficient of experience is this much. This is the average. So you can use this equation to find if A is 35 years and E is 10 years, then D is this much. Because now it is X, Y is equal to beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus beta 0, which is the intercept. But you have to make sure that there is no correlation between the independent variables. They should not be correlated. Then only you can use it in determining the value of Y. See, we can actual forecasting, we can only take two variables, because see, if it is one variable, it is a straight line, or it, you can say it is a plane. But if it is two variables, it will be a cube. Now if it is three variables, four variables, you cannot do, imagine it it is some dimension which is not real. So it is better to do two or one variables at a time. If there are more than that also, you at a time you take only one or two variables and make the forecast. So here only two variables are taken, which is a multiple regression, age and experience in years. And accordingly, we have found out If age is 25, or sorry, 35, and experience is 10 years, then the distance they will be covering is this much, 25,050.17 kilometer. Is it clear? I'll show you to in next slide how you do the calculation. But do you, hello, are you there?
Hello.
Are you
Yes,
there? Are you
yes,
listening to what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes, ma'am. I'm listening.
So you have these four ways of quantitatively calculating what will be the forecast for future. So for this you need data, and from data you find out the relationship, which is known as regression, where y is equal to equation, and accordingly you can find out the value in the future. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.